Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Expressed Opinion. I am your girl, Lynn Roberts.
I'm that girl, DC.
And I'm that guy, Trey.
And tonight's subject, you going back to work or nah? What you think?
I'm back at work.
Yeah, I've been at work. I never left.
I've been at work either. I've been at work too. Excuse me.
What is it? I've been at work either.
Let me tell you what the difference is. I was working from home.
Yeah.
So it kind of like, threw me off. I'm so used to having to leave the house or working from home for so long. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then, I had to, it just kind of crossed, that's all. I've worked ever since the pandemic.
And now you're back into their building.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we were doing half and half because the first part of it, we got sent home. And then the next part, it was like, now y'all can work from home. And then it was like alternate days. You come in, stay home, come in, stay home. So it was back and forth. But given the situation with everything that's going on today, and I know everybody's been listening to the news and about people not wanting to go to work. I know, case in point, when we went out to dinner for my birthday, and
yes,
it took them forever because they didn't have anyone working.
They were short-staffed.
Yeah, they were very short-staffed. Even in the hood trying to get your car washed. Short-staffed. I'm like, come on, man. I need to get my car washed. Talk about people don't want to come to work. They still getting them benefits. They not trying to come to work. So, so what do y'all think about this whole thing with now different states? It's up to, I think, 22 states are talking about ending the federal the unemployment benefits now. They're up to it's up to 22 states now with more to follow suit. So how do y'all feel about that?
I have a little mixed emotion because I worked through the pandemic. You have the situations where that $300 a week is what people would make if they was working. So if you're gonna be rational and really logic about it, you're not going to work.
True. Okay.
Now the flip side to that is that people who were making more money now making, having to go to work for $725, working a full-time job for $725 or $750, and trying to find a job is hard. Yeah. So I'm gonna stay home, get that check, and I'm gonna try and find a job that is equal to what I was working before because the business I worked for before is no longer available due to the pandemic. So it's juggling. And then you have the opposite side, whereas businesses, mom and pop shops or smaller businesses, they're wanting people to come to work, but people is now saying, pay me more. The $750 that I was making when the pandemic hit is that's not good enough anymore, so you need to pay me more. But you have to realize the money that they did receive is what sustained the business to be there. And now the people are asking for more money and they really don't have it to pay. So you got...
Because business is struggling.
Right, business is struggling. They wasn't making the money for a year, almost a year and a half now. And if you tell me, pay me $15 an hour, whereas before maybe you was making $13 or close to it, I'm not coming to work.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But I got a question. As far as with them coming to work, what about the PPE? Remember, the PPE was supposed to help the small business and it was supposed to go towards paying their employees and help keep their business afloat. So if you receive this money from the government to help keep your business afloat and to help with your employees, to keep you open with employees, why you can't pay them with that money that the government gave you?
I think that was just misallocated all the way across the board because people was creating businesses, getting these funds, and then you had larger businesses that were able to sustain through the pandemic without assistance. They received funds before these smaller businesses did. So a lot of them really didn't get that, the incentive when they need it. So if you're already behind, when you start getting, you're just trying to catch up.
Yeah.
So, and then also, when I was watching the news, they were saying that a lot of those smaller businesses had problems with filling out the paperwork. Yeah. So I know one of the small business, small business advocate, they said because the pandemic was going on, you couldn't come inside. But what they said you could do is like I believe they created like a Zoom link, and they was trying to help people that way. Or you can call and try and walk you through the process, because you got to understand, legal paperwork is not, regular paperwork. Yeah, everybody can't fill out legal paperwork and it's correct. So if you get denied and these other businesses can afford these lawyers to go in and fill out this information and get those funds, it went to them. That was one of the biggest complaints. A lot of small businesses didn't get it. You got places like Burger King,
Ruth Chris.
Yeah, and some of those places actually gave the money back. So because it was like we didn't need it. But if enough of those businesses didn't give it back,
they gave it back because they were getting a lot of backlash from getting it.
Some of them, not all of them. Some of them was dispersed the money. And they denied it, so they never received it.
And that was swept up under the rug too. Like,
yeah.
I was like, all right. Yeah. Y'all did wrong. Y'all hurry up and give me the money back before we show out.
I'm almost certain there's going to be some kickback later on.
Well, there's going to be some kickback for people like ourselves, with PPP loans and so forth. That's going to be some kickback because we can't afford to pay that money back. A company like Burger King and Ruth Chris, they can pay that money back and not hurt. You know what I'm saying? But to go back to what DC was saying earlier, I just want to look. You did an amazing job just now. Like, you really broke it down, and you broke it down to how everything is just set up. And I kind of want to just look at the work crisis from the purview of where I'm from, like. A company that I work for, we're going through a temp agency because people are just coming in and out. It doesn't make any sense for us to spend that money to try to onboard somebody and then they end up not working out. Because some people just trash too. Like, it's not just like it's a work crisis. Like, it's a bunch of trash ass people out there who don't work out for the job. Like,
and they're in it to get a couple of paychecks.
Then get a couple paychecks in and then I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? As long as I can show unemployment that I tried to work and then y'all couldn't use me no more. He could give any type of excuse in the world to unemployment. You see what I'm saying? And so we have gone above and beyond to give out an extra $2 for people who don't have any experience. Just so we can get the bodies. Because our business is booming. People are purchasing from us all the time, right? But we need people to be delivery drivers or people to do whatever it is that need to be done. It's people to come in, especially brothers. Oh my gosh. I don't want to talk about my brothers like that, but my brothers are coming to work and garbage can. Women are outworking us left and right.
But you know what?
And it's crazy. I know that's not just a work crisis situation. It's something that just popped up in my head. Like,
maybe that's a topic for another show.
Sisters are really outworking us, bro.
But you know what? Now, I'm going to tell you, look at it like this. And it's sad to say, but how many women are running their households? So it's a need to do it. It's not because, it's a need to do it. Yeah. And unfortunately, the men, if they don't, if it's not a need and it's okay, I'm going to work and I'm going to get this paycheck and then I'm out. Right. She can't do that. She got kids on. She got to keep the lights on, pay the rent.
Yeah, exactly.
Feed, so.
She don't have that luxury.
Exactly. So what do y'all think about companies like McDonald's, who was just 5 years ago making everything automated? Right? Yeah. You come straight up. You don't even have to talk to an employee anymore. You just tap on the screen, stick your debit card in, and your food is on the way. Yeah. And now McDonald's is saying, even though they was fighting that minimum wage, $15 minimum wage, they was fighting that, right? Now they're telling you, hey, we have $18 an hour.
They're begging people to come to work.
$18 an hour to go work for McDonald's. All the benefits, and they'll pay you tuition assistance. If you was going to school, you get tuition assistance now.
Not only McDonald's, Walmart is doing it too.
Well, they need to bring all their employees back.
Yeah.
Walmart tripping. Walmart can save the world right now. They don't even know. People will come back to Walmart so fast if they had all those lanes open.
Matter of fact, not too long ago, they just did a job fair, a workshop here, trying to hire people for the Walmarts in the area.
And they would probably bring those people back. They still would not open those lanes. They would have them on the floor, stocking, doing everything, but they would have, knowing that it's a rush, and they would have 2 people and everybody else check your own
Yeah,
stuff out.
but then on the self-checkout, you only got 2 of the self-checkouts working. Because all the rest of them got the thing
Cards
lifted
and
up.
cash.
Yeah.
And they dragging old girl with that little pad. She's trying to check everybody. They dragging her ass over there.
Oh my God.
Everybody terminal messing up. She got to run every last one of them.
Yeah.
They dragging her.
Okay, now
But-
here,
okay,
the
okay,
flip
go
side
ahead.
to that
Uh-huh.
is, if they doing it now,
Why
when
couldn't
there
they
was
do
a when there was a pandemic, well, you know what? Let me rephrase that. Walmart probably did not get hurt by this pandemic because everybody went to Walmart.
Yep.
I don't care. I mean, Walmart had people in it.
Supply and demand.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We'll
So-
never go bad. Walmart will never go out of business.
And food, restaurants, like the fast foods anyway, like Burger King and the Wendy's, all of them, because they had the they may have had the dining room closed, but their drive-through stayed open.
I want to know, did Walmart receive any of that money? Or did they
I don't
decline
think
it?
they did. I don't think they did. But the other thing, just like you were saying with that though, and why they couldn't
Do this prior.
yeah, why with the fast food restaurants like the McDonald's that you're saying now all of a sudden they can afford $15 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
If you can afford $15 an hour now, why couldn't you afford it back then when people were asking for $15 an hour?
Greed.
And I'll also add to this as well. As far as the government, right? And I'm not talking bad on the government. Don't bother me, baby. Don't bother me. But I heard Charlemagne the God say something about, and I heard another individual say it on social media, was how fast you can get to our communities during this pandemic to give us a vaccine. But you can't come rescue this situation right now as it pertains to people trying to get back to work.
Exactly.
You want these people to come off of unemployment. So assist these companies for real, in order for people to get back to work. Now, you can't make somebody you can't just go pull everybody out of bed and say, hey, come on, let me give you this job. People have to get up and apply themselves to every day.
Yeah.
People have to apply themselves. And this is not a crisis that's new. People been not wanting to go to work. People are career students to get that school loan money, and they'll survive off the school loan money and work a part-time job. You know what I'm saying? So you just have lazy people out there, period. I think that right now, because of the COVID crisis, a lot of restaurants are hurting. I think that's one of the most major businesses that's failing right now. And anybody that's paying $14 or less, you're gonna struggle.
Yeah.
And if you can't find a way to get your salary cap up as a company, I don't care who you are, you're gonna struggle to get people.
And what you're saying is true.
Right.
But let's say I had a mom and pop shop that was functioning pretty good, and the pandemic hit. I think what has happened with this pandemic, I think it has really taught businesses lessons about having that little foundation, because who would have thought in our lifetime we would experience something like this, right? So if I had a business, what I would think about now is I would have to have some type of hold over here in addition to now I'm gonna have me an account for emergency funding.
Like an escrow
Because
account.
if I was not conscious if this thing hit and I had a business and my business, I was doing good, I wasn't hurting anything, and then I just shut down for months. Whatever I had that was saved to keep my building, to make sure the lights, the water stayed on. So when I open, which I'm thinking is only going to be 2-3 months.
Yeah.
A year and a half later, and then I call my employees back, and they say, "Oh well, I make $300 a week doing nothing."
I make $600 a week.
Okay.
That's unemployment plus
The extra 300.
extra
Yes.
300.
Okay, but I thought those was for the ones that was working, and the hours just got cut. They got the extra 300 to supplement.
That's
So
everybody.
That was everybody. Cross the
Everybody.
line.
I didn't get it.
You must have asked for it.
You wasn't unemployed.
So I mean,
You can't get it if you work.
okay. All right. Let me
Look,
wait. Back to
that's
my
people for you. She's like, no, hell no. Everybody got it.
Because actually,
Okay.
if you think about it,
I'm
if that's
about to say-
$600 a week,
That's
4 weeks,
$1,200.
that's $2,400
That's
a month.
$2,400
Okay.
a month.
So back to what I was saying. So now I'm out. My business closed for a year and a half. Mm-hmm. The money that I was making, I opened, but I didn't open to the capacity of which I would have had this pandemic not hit. So now I am open. I'm still buying my goods. I'm still having to pay for things to be delivered to me. I'm still having to do all of these things, but my earned income has been slashed. So I applied for the PPE. Yeah. The PPE, because it's been a year and I didn't get that first wave of money. I'm getting the money, but I'm trying to catch everything up I had, and now I'm trying to also put me a little stash because I don't know how much longer it's gonna be. I don't know if they're gonna give me another PPE. I don't know how long the PPE gonna last. Yeah. And so now I'm saying, y'all come to work. How much are you paying? I can only pay you minimum wage. But guess what? I'm getting minimum wage staying home.
Well, let me...
I'm not saying it's right, but this is what the logic people... I mean, and if you really want to be honest, unless you just say, okay, you know what? I don't want to use this money. I'm going to go to work. The majority of people, common sense, going to say, I'm staying home. If you're not going to pay me, I'm going to earn enough to make me want to get out of bed. Yeah. Like, you have those ones that are not.
And then you looking at, they like, I'm working and slaving 8 and 9 hours on this job and for minimum wage, and I'm making the same thing, and I don't even have to sweat over here.
And it's not, I'm not saying it's not an excuse, but if you're a person and if you're a hustler, you know, you're going to work what works for you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's how the world works. The average person, if you tell me, $725 or I give you $300 to do nothing, and I go and I start calculating, well, if I do $725, I do $750, $300. I got to come to work, I got to wash dishes, I got to listen to these customers, you know, chew me out in and out. Or I can sit home and I can get this money until the government say I got to go back in a month before it's time to go back. I'm going to find me a job. I'm going to get the same amount. I'm going to stay home. I mean, it's just...
But you have had some people that have been smart with their money, though, and take that money and parlay it into a business. So
we know the majority of the people they're not doing that.
Yeah,
I
know, but I'm just saying
they're capping their money off. They're capping their money off. Yeah. Some people taking the money and selling dope on the side,
buying big screen TVs and stuff. Where you gonna put it?
They're gonna put it in their house. So right now, unemployment is paying you $17 an hour to stay home.
Wow.
No, with that 300. Well, it depends. It depends.
If you start working right now, you're going to end up getting about $350 to $400 a month.
It's $365
boom.
A week.
What I put right here.
$365. It's $300 and $365.
Well, I put 3 and some change.
No, I'm gonna break this down. This right here is what you would get if you receive unemployment for working. Yeah. If you did not work or work part time, they would give you that $300. This, you have to have put so much into the system to get this.
Yeah, but on top of this, you're getting an extra $300.
So you're getting $665 a week. That's $665 a week.
Well, I know someone who is working, and the system is being manipulated because they're working and they're receiving that $300.
You got a lot of people doing that, but.
Because
they're going to catch up.
Because what happened? No, let me tell you. The business person who's running the business is allowing the hours to stay cut, unquote.
Wow.
So the business tripping. Yeah, that's on the business.
Yeah, that's on the business.
And so, you know, you getting your extra money and your paycheck.
So when the feds come knocking on the business door, because they done messed up.
I don't want that much karma on me.
Exactly.
I can't do all that. My nerves too shot out.
That's ridiculous. Are you going to sit up here and do something under the table like that?
So I take that back. That's $16.63
an hour.
Is an hour. That's how much they're paying people right now to stay home. $16.63. So you have to pay me at least $18 an hour in order for me to get off my ass and come down there. Now, those other couple dollars, if it's $18 an hour, but you're going to spend that money in gas just going back to the people job anyway, which is another part that I was going to bring up from earlier. You guys were working from home.
Yeah.
The business was getting over like a fat rat.
Yeah, because all the bills, utilities, all of that stuff.
Turn all them lights off. You feel what I'm saying? So they're using your utilities, paying you the same amount of money just because you feel more comfortable to sit in your bed, but you don't have to drive. You don't have to go buy extra lunch. You don't have to do any of these things. So you are saving money in essence.
Yeah.
But the business is saying, no, you stay home, I use your internet.
No, well, actually, my job gave us
stipend.
They gave us the
Wi-Fi box.
the Wi-Fi's to work with. So
A what? A Wi-Fi?
MiFi. It's like a hot. Yeah, it's like a hotspot.
Okay.
So you didn't have to. I didn't use my internet. I used theirs.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So
good job to MiFi, whoever invented that.
Okay, so
I never heard of MiFi.
I have a question. For those ones that are legit needing this money.
Yes.
How do you feel about them, the state saying go back to work? And money that what I was expecting to get in September is now
being cut in June. Yeah.
Go back to work.
I think they've been wanting people to go back to work. It's just what they're saying is, okay, we about to cut this extra $300 off for a quarter of the year.
Exactly.
3 months. We shutting it down 3 months in advance, ahead of schedule. We about to save this bread. You ain't about to sit on your ass. And we know businesses aren't going to fix the world tomorrow, but there's no need for us to come out of the pocket as a state. Keep coming out of the pocket to do what? Would you continue to give somebody the extra $300? Like when you know it's not, what is it benefiting? What is it doing? I know it's paying your bills, but we supposed to be a society where you get up and go pay your own bills. The government is not supposed to just sit here and pay your bills all willy nilly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's
supposed to be basically a handout or a hand up until you can get back on your own.
Well, until the economy can come back from the crippling effects of the COVID virus. Now that they're rushing vaccines into the marketing scheme on TV and so forth, you see how fast they're pushing it on you.
Yeah, exactly.
So as long as they can get the vaccines in, they're saying that the world is going to open back up.
Which brings up another point. A lot of people don't feel safe going back to work.
You're using that as an excuse.
No, but I'm just saying, what about the people that really do not feel safe going back to work?
I have a family member that's a cancer survivor. Owns a daycare. Do she go back? Works at the daycare? Do she go back to the daycare and bring everybody in, or do she stay home and get unemployment?
That's up to her. I can't answer questions.
No, but I'm saying I'm with COVID going on.
Right.
Cut it off. You go back to work. Cancer survivor. I have to deal with kids, don't know where they're coming from. And I get it. COVID is not going anywhere, so eventually you're going to have to, wrap your mind around it and go back to work. But the numbers are down, but it's still readily out there. People still have to take precautions.
Someone just texted me day before yesterday asking me because they have it.
COVID.
They have COVID. And they were asking me because I had it. So they were asking me, what can I do? So it's still out there. People are still getting it.
And I think what is happening is, what I believe is happening is the loosening of the restrictions are saying, okay, it's going away and we can go back. And that's not the case. It's not going away. But because people... Well, if you get vaccinated, you can go back. If you had COVID, you can go back. But if you walk in a business and you haven't been vaccinated, but you don't have your mask, and they say if you don't have one, you don't have to wear a mask if you've been vaccinated. But you're just one of those people that say, oh, COVID, it's not like that, and you don't wear a mask. I'm to assume, when I know assume means that, okay, well, he must have was vaccinated because he didn't have on his mask. But now you're COVID. You test positive for COVID, you're asymptomatic. So when you come in, and people you have people that have these underlying conditions. This is something that they worry about. And see, when you don't have those underlying conditions, I don't think people consider that sometimes. And I'm not using that as an excuse. However, you also got to think about those ones too. And like I said, I know eventually got to go back regardless.
Why are you smiling like that?
However, because I think I'm trying to make you feel like I'm trying to make a case. No, but I want to cover all the topics.
No, I'm not trying to do that.
Yeah, I want to cover all aspects. So you have the ones that are genuinely COVID, like have these issues, and then you have those ones that are manipulating the system.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, are the ones that's manipulating the system causing this effect for the ones that are genuinely, need this money and having these issues,
and are in fear of going back to work because of them fearing that they're gonna get COVID if they go back to work,
and the numbers haven't come down enough.
Yeah.
What you think? They got to go back anyway. They might as well do it now. Jump in the water.
I want to say it's some BS. That's some BS. Like, if you know you got to survive, you got to make money. You're gonna do what you got to go do.
Yeah.
If the bills are down, and I've seen some people leave here recently. Like a lot of people leave here recently, but it doesn't stop life. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to continue to move forward. We have to continue to move on. If the COVID-19 scare has a COVID conscious community, whereas people don't want to go back to work, well, hey, stay home. You're just not about to get as much as you thought you was going to get before. And you didn't get that previous to COVID. You didn't get $600 a week. You got $365. That's what you was getting for the longest. So you're gonna have to go back to surviving off of that, and then you're gonna finally wake up one day and say, "Man,
I need to get up and take my happy ass
cancer.
to work.
I gotta go." Not to pick at auntie or nothing like that, but forget this. I got to get back to work. And then we go back into the health system. The health system is gonna go berserk after that. Like,
mental health is gonna be. Let me tell you, if you want to go in the field, mental health is where it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And I'm dead serious because I think the whole COVID nightmare has sent people spiraling, paranoid, depression. I mean,
you've had a lot of people have committed
PTSD.
suicide. Yeah. A lot of people have committed suicide because of this.
So I mean, I'm serious.
Yeah,
like,
committed suicide because of COVID.
Yeah, they. You even had some doctors commit suicide. Seriously.
What?
Yeah, you haven't heard. Where you been?
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah. No, but thank God we're not India right now. Yeah. But imagine if you was a doctor, and I'm not saying that this is a reason for somebody, commit suicide. Not by no means. Anybody, just a plug. Anybody that's thinking, contemplating, please reach out to someone and get help. But
please.
Yes. But you have, they burying people. They running out of gray space. Yeah. They digging ditches on the side of the road and just dropping bodies in there. They burning bodies on the side of the road. And you a doctor, and this is what you face every day.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's reason, but you don't know what a toll that it could take. I really would not want to be one of those doctors that was in one of those crises. I have a whole new outlook on the hospital. Anybody that's in the hospital, from the rooter to the tutor, because you got to clean those rooms. So your housekeeping is at risk. I mean, you so scared till you don't want to cross contaminate. So you have people working on certain floors. If they get pulled from that floor down to the area that's COVID with COVID patients, I mean, can they never go back to as long as COVID going on, they have been down there, they can't go back to their top floor where they're accustomed to working. And all you see is people just dying day after day after day after day, and you doing everything you possibly can to save them. And it's just like, hey, I think that's PTSD in itself.
You gave me PTSD talking about it.
Yeah.
You are a graphic.
Yes.
I don't even like hospitals anymore. You just ruined it.
Oh my God! But speaking of that, since we were talking about the PTSD and going back to work and stuff, how do y'all feel like the sense of normalcy of? Do you think that things will go back to how they were, or things will forever change and not be the same?
Evolution is real.
For our generation, no, because next year, I pray to God that this thing like get to a point where it's controllable.
Yeah.
Next year, winter, when people start getting sick, go somewhere and start coughing and see what people and see how people gonna react.
People doing it now.
Exactly.
If you cough now, I'm tripping.
Listen, you can't. Okay, don't cough more than a couple of times.
Man, look, I was at work today. I was eating a sandwich. I was eating Chick-fil-A. And some got stuck in my throat. I started coughing, right?
I know
my coworker on the other side, everything all right? Everything all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. You straight? You sure? I'm like, I'm okay. Like, just, just got a little winded. It's gonna be all right. I'm good.
Start coughing the season. People sending you home. You got to go to the doctor before you come back. Like, this is real.
Real talk. This happened today. Got a phone call from one of my clients in Florida. They said, hey, we had a guy that was supposed to come in and start today, but he said that the daycare, his kid's daycare had a COVID outbreak. So everybody had to go get tested. So the agency says, hey, well, you have to get tested too before you can start. That ain't got nothing to do with us. That's one of our clients. So the guy then says, well, I was trying to get the test done, but everything's booked. They was like, oh, hell no. Everything ain't booked because they giving out COVID tests left and right.
No, actually,
they're cutting back.
I just heard a commercial say they got more testing a little bit at Target. Some Target CVS combo.
Appointment. And then now I think they're making it so that you can go to your primary care provider. I think they were doing it already, but I think it is more readily available. Going to be readily available through your primary care provider. But you do still have to call the 1-800 number and schedule the test.
Yeah.
So it's one number that you can call.
Well, no, that number can tell you like in your area all the testing sites.
Yeah.
Like I know Walgreens, Walgreens, CVS, and of course you have your here in Savannah, not Jason. Is it Jason?
Yeah, Jason Lewis.
Jason Lewis.
Cooper.
Curtis Cooper. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Curtis Cooper. I know they do tests, but I also know they do tests by appointments for CVS, Walgreens. Now, unless it recently changed.
So the point of this was the young man may have been boo-booing and shoe-showing, but it was like, nah, we got somebody else who want to take that spot. Because you had a COVID scare. It was like, we ain't got time for you.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what kind of games you're playing because people do take advantage of the opportunities that's out here.
And
right?
you do have people taking advantage of that, saying, I think I might have it. I may have a symptom or something, and causing, and then, once you tell your employer that, they're going to tell you can't come back to work until you go get tested. And at that time,
you get paid for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you got COVID, you get paid to go home and chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just got to show you got a positive result.
You got to show it that you got a positive result, and then you can't come back until you have a negative result. So.
And
is it still up to 14 days you can stay home?
I think it's 10 now.
10 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, they shorten that.
Man, yeah.
Like, no, you got 3 days.
Mine,
you get over your COVID.
Yeah, but mine was a whole 30. I was out a whole month.
Oh, you had that double up. You
I
had COVID.
You had that COVID. And 20. I kept getting, I was depressed because it was like every time I went and took the test, I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm straight.
And guess what I told her? Stop going to get tested. Give it some time and then go.
Man, look. I was ready for that.
Every 3 days, 4 days, she was going, I'm going to get tested. You just got tested Monday, Wednesday. Why?
Man, I was ready to go. I was ready. Look, I was ready to go back to the living room because they had me confined.
That's the problem right now. People can't even sit in the room. Just go sit in the room.
Man,
I want to go in my living room.
I was confined to that bedroom and could not go anywhere.
Well, listen, if you was in my house, I'm not lying, you would do the same thing. And I'll be honest with you, my daughter worked in the medical field, and so I was paranoid like crazy. So if I was doing that and I'm not even working at the hospital, Like, I had a family member that worked there. Imagine how working for any place that involves dealing with the public at that magnitude. You know?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I mean, well, sometimes you have direct
workers.
care and indirect care. Yeah. So you dealing with the public regardless. But I mean, hey. Anyway, back to this this unemployment thing. So, what are lasting effects you think that this unemployment thing is going to have on people, or do you think it will have any lasting effects once for those ones when the rug is pulled out from under them? I'm saying that because that's what some of the journalists that I've been reading. That's what they call it, having the rug pulled out, because people was expecting September and it's been cut to June. So how do you feel like some of those people are going to react, or do you think it's going to affect them to the state of they may become possibly homeless? Because once they open this back up, I think they're also now lifting the little whatever it is they had for the people that were renting. So
I was just looking at on the news the other day where a guy was getting evicted in I think it was Texas, and he was talking about he had lost his job, and you know him and his son, they were literally putting them out on the street. And it's like the landlords can't wait. But as far as how people are going to take it, I mean, what can they do? I mean, it's not like they can stop it. What can they do? You know, only thing you can do is get prepared. You're gonna find you a job, go back to work, get prepared, or you're behind gonna live off of that 300 or that 365 a week instead of that 665 a week.
But that 365 only lasts for so many weeks.
Exactly, and then the thing about it is, come September, you're gonna have to look for a job anyway, because actually in September all of it is gonna come to an end.
No,
unemployment. No, not the regular unemployment, but
just the extra $300 is going to go away, and you're going to go down to 365, which is what's 365 divided by 40? How many times 4 go to 36?
Man, look, use a calculator. But not only that though, you got to look at Not only that, you got to look at you only get unemployment but so long, because usually it's what
12 weeks.
The 12 to 13 weeks is what you get.
No, it's 12 weeks.
$9 an hour.
See, that's more than minimum wage. That's more.
If you working for somebody at minimum wage and you an adult, something ain't right. Everybody got a choice to go work wherever you would like to work.
You got to understand.
If you working for $7,
McDonald's
pay more than minimum wage.
You got Burger King and McDonald's. Well, I'm not. Let me say, because I'm not going to say that, because I think they made it. You have businesses that are open that was paying $7.25. You know, and adults were the ones working.
Yeah. And then go ahead.
You already struggling at $7.25.
Yes.
For whatever reason, you chose the job that's paying $7.25 because you just needed something, because you bear no other skills. Then you were already on the decline in life. Like, you wasn't going to have your house. You was going to lose your house anyway at $7.25.
But you got to realize, these people are people that are already in poverty. That's that's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. If you're looking at it from a standpoint of yourself, you can't measure that way.
I'm not measuring like that. I'm going off of the 3 month difference of you losing the $300 from June to September. So if at the end of June, when they take that away from you, if you're going to lose your house because
you don't have a house, 9 times out of 10 you didn't have a house.
Not making $7.25 an hour. You don't,
and not even at the $7.25. A person who was making good money and you're on unemployment from June to September, and you think you're going to lose your house because of that 3 month difference, you was already on the verge of losing your house. You see what I'm saying?
Because at $7.25, you can barely afford an apartment.
Well, and I'm looking past the $7.25 to $3.65. I'm talking about the $6.65 that they're receiving right now.
They would have made it had they not even received.
They can receive that now and be paying their mortgage. But if that's the only way they're paying their mortgage,
Nobody don't own a house at $725.
We're not talking about $725 anymore.
He's talking about the
your question.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about your question. You asked a question about the people who will they have the rugs pulled from up under them if the $300 is taken away. I'm saying when it is taken away at the end of June instead of September. You had made a comment about people losing their home because they're having the rug ripped.
You're saying they were already on the verge of losing.
What I'm saying,
anyway.
regardless of how much money they was receiving from the states, they was already on the verge of losing their house.
Okay, well, let me rephrase this. Maybe I need to say living quarters. Because when you say home, I don't want people to think people own homes. I'm talking about anybody, whether you living in a slumlord, whether you living in an apartment, or however. I get what you're saying now, but I was focused on the word home, and I'm like, at that point they don't own a home, so. But we're just saying home is your living quarters, period. Mm-hmm. So, well, I don't know. Because I worked in that field, and that's not necessarily true because you have some people that was already receiving assistance, and that assistance allowed them to sustain themselves with that $725. So if they lost their job and they were receiving the funds, the $625 would the 365 probably would sustain them. But once that run out, then they are back at square one because the $300 is gone.
365 is not made to sustain people on unemployment. It's to give you a little. Hey, here you go. Here go a little something for you
until you can find something else.
Even the money that you've already put in the Social Security and all that good stuff, it don't even match up. Like you giving me a fraction of what you could
fraction of a fraction,
back, right? So you giving me the 3 and some change per month on unemployment. That's for me to get up and still try to go find work because this ain't gonna get it.
Mm-hmm. Well, they require you to do that because you have to put in those job searches. But
you got to put in.
They need to reframe that. Because you can call, you don't necessarily have to go. You just have to show that you applied.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
I've been on unemployment. I know how it works.
And I wonder if they actually follow up with any of those resources. If they just say, okay, well, show us that you applied for 10 jobs.
Right.
Do y'all ever call them? But can they do that? Can they call and say, did this person apply for a job with you if they put their name on that list?
But see, they can call, but I mean, it's not necessary. How is that person going to necessarily know that this individual applied? They don't know, because how many? How many people How many people a day, a week?
Hey, did this person apply for you? Like, I don't know. Why you calling me, bothering me about this mess, ma'am?
Man, look.
I said a paper jam over here.
Hey, I want unemployment. It just need to be revamped all the way around. Now, those ones that receive those PPE, that PPE money, they didn't really have businesses.
Let me go ahead and hit them up.
Listen, people getting 20,000.
Somebody going to jail?
No, because now they got to show paperwork is where they paid these.
If you could get away with it, I salute you, child. Get your bread.
Because see, one of the criteria for those PPEs is like if you had a small business, you had to have a certain amount of employees, and if you only had Ray and Charles, and they telling
Ray.
You got Ray and Charles. And they telling you got to have at least 300 employees, and you only got these two at the car wash.
I understand the government coming for you.
Exactly.
Government ain't about to bother y'all, man. Y'all straight.
Okay.
Don't even worry about it. You good.
Uncle Sam don't care about nobody.
Play with it if you want to. Uncle Sam coming after his money. And then, because it was one point, because it's I think it's certain guidelines with the PPE. Some of the PPEs you don't have to pay back.
I think everybody.
The grant PPEs.
This money, I think, some kind of way they're gonna get their money back.
Oh, of course.
Now, how they gonna do it? Well, when we gonna feel the effects of it?
You gonna feel it one way or somewhere.
Well, if you went out there and got the loan, hopefully and prayerfully, most people found a way to flip that money so that they can. If it was a loan, it was a loan. You know you got to pay it back.
Yeah, they hustled the loan. So what makes you think they gonna really flip that to make more money?
The government hustled to be able to give it to you.
That's
they
the
got
government.
the money from
but
somewhere.
No, us.
Yeah.
They hustled us to get it. That's where they got it from.
Man, this country's so much in debt. You think you giving them that money?
Listen.
You just giving them a fraction too. That little bit of money we give back, that's just a fraction.
Yep.
Hey, well, I mean that goes across different countries. That's all they do is they make these little.
Yeah, them other countries flip flopping bread all day long, credit for resources.
Of course.
But I mean, it's just to me. It could be a double-edged sword because it could be you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't.
What would you do, Trey, to get employees to come in?
Yeah.
What incentive or advertisement or training? Like you said, y'all gave $2. Is that all y'all doing? Like, how are y'all trying to reach those ones that you really feel really want to work? How are you getting the message out that, hey, y'all need to come to us because we're hiring, this is what we're paying?
Well, I'm in the logistics industry. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of already, it's already a certain dollar amount that's across the board for certain jobs.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if you go into a company, and the logistics business, it never stopped booming.
Yeah.
Again, it's just the people that my breath stink or something.
No, it was a fly bugging me. No, I would have just slid you a minute if that was the case. But
but so for this industry, again, you just can't find quality people who want to come in and have ambition, right? So the people who are hiring, those people are executives, managers, and so forth, right? So those people have a little bit of ambition, and they're looking for people to come back and be just as ambitious so that we can succeed more. Right. Most jobs have a quota that they need to fulfill, or they need to. It's mostly a quota. Everybody got a quota that they need to meet, right? So in my industry, you have to meet that all the time, and we need people that's going to come and help us. Folks don't want to help. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. It's just people are weird.
Okay, so once the incentive, the wild work incentive go, do you think your pool is going to come? Are you hoping, or do you really think it's going to make the pool better?
No, the pool is not going to get better. But money's not going to fix intelligence.
No, not at all.
People are not as intelligent as they should be coming into the workforce.
Okay.
And see
but they have to work now, so they're not doing it based on intelligence. They're doing it now based on need.
So
what are y'all looking for?
So because we need bodies, we have to try to say, "Hey, man, I'll just try to entice you."
Some people are offering on-the-job training.
You're supposed to get OJT. You at work.
Well,
so you're supposed to have on-the-job training. You and people been giving out benefits forever.
Well, when you say on-the-job training, I think she means more of a person who has not been exposed to that field. Yeah. Because a lot of people want you to come with a little bit of experience sometimes. And so now they're taking it with no experience. So we're just training you.
So we're doing the same, but it's not that difficult of a job. Like I said, you're just a delivery driver.
Yeah.
Here, take this over there and come on back.
And,
you know what I'm saying?
And get another one.
And we're trying to pay you well because we have to compete with Amazon. You feel what I'm saying? Or you have to compete with other people that's delivering stuff because people only understand delivery. So if I'm delivering, I don't care what your product is, Amazon is paying $17, $18 an hour. Can you match Amazon?
And wait a minute, and this is another thing I found out. But you ain't got to
work all day like Amazon.
I found out with Amazon. Amazon is paying some drivers $25 an hour.
Yeah.
Plus tips.
But Amazon never stopped booming either.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazon got so busy, they say, hey, drive your car. That's how much we need delivery. Drive your car, and we're going to pay you to drive your car because we are overloaded because people's doing everything from home. All shopping is being done. And I think all of that is going to change. That's why I say normal is not the same. Like, people going, like, I wasn't a big online shopper. You know, I was like, I'd rather go in the store.
Yeah, that was
But
me.
now I'm like, man.
And certain things I'll buy online, but then there's still certain things that I prefer to go into the store.
Uber Eats, I think that's what caused Uber Eats and whatever the other one is to start booming. Is because people didn't want to go out, so they would go.
Yep.
We said, okay, I'll tell you what, we was transporting people. We'll do your food now.
Because I think my daughter is a gold member. Because it's like the grocery shopping. Because I was like, hey, I need you to run to the grocery store for it. She's talking about what you want, what you need.
I know.
Next thing I know, she comes talking about, yeah, it'll be here in about 30 minutes. I'm like, are you serious?
But I know people who don't grocery shop. I have a problem with somebody going and picking my food out, like my vegetables and stuff. Like I want to look at them. I want to, and like literally they go, they shop. You pull up, you done paid for it. They stick it in your car. You go about your business. I mean, it's convenient. So a lot of things that came out of this pandemic was. I think is going to. It's not going to change. No, because people realize you can work. Like you said, you can work from home, and I don't have to pay.
And see, you got and that's a lot of people. A lot of employees or employers have figured that out, and a lot of employees would prefer to work from home. Yeah, because I was I like to read news articles and stuff while I'm at work, and I was reading an article about the
right. Yeah, I'm breaking you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So I was reading the article about it was a company. They had ordered all of their employees back to work. All the employees was working from home, and they had told all the employees that they had to come back to work and stuff. They went on strike, so that because they were striking because they did not want to come back to work. They wanted to be able to still work from home.
How did it work out?
I think they were still in like negotiations or something. I gotta read, do a follow up on it.
So but I'm like, why wouldn't they was not wanting to come?
About to strike on me.
I wonder if they didn't come back because there's too many people to be in the building, or they didn't come back because they just got used to the convenience of being home.
I don't know. It may be a little bit of both.
Because I know in the education realm, plenty of teachers quit because they was being forced to come back and. Either they had underlying, or they had family members that was living in the home with them that had underlying, and it was like, okay, no, we're not coming back. So if you on a contract, I mean,
breach your contract.
Well, this not a
situation.
normal situation.
I was about to say it, but then again, it's not a normal situation, because this is, very much so not a normal situation. So, a lot of this was not normal.
I do want to say this. I want to say to the state of Georgia, I think you're very unfair, my friend. What happened in the state of Georgia was last year everything was COVID related. We can't work. We can't do this. And the state just shut down and cut all their employees off. Then as soon as 2021 hit, everybody started getting hit with old citations, everything.
What?
Oh, if you had court last year and court was canceled because of COVID, court was canceled. They came right back and say, no, we rescheduled your court date. You don't know nothing about it. I'm talking about a whole bunch of people got jammed up over this shit. Didn't know anything about this new court date, and now you got warrants and so forth.
Wow!
Because the state is after that money.
Yeah, I was about to say the state. That's a racket.
The state is a complete racket. All the money that you lost in all of those court days that was closed because of COVID.
But my thing,
the state went broke.
My thing with that would be, okay, you said you notified me. I need you to prove how you notified me.
Man, look, I
need you to show me where you sent me a certified letter stating that court was still on.
Listen, first of all, they're not sending you a certified letter. They don't send certified letters. So if they say they send it out, it's going to be your word against theirs. Period.
But see, the burden of proof is going to have to lie on them, though.
If they say they sent it,
that's it. That's the burden of proof. It's your proof. They say they sent it to the wrong address.
Them folks told me you should have came up here and changed your address.
That's right.
What? I'm gonna tell them, look, the mail's slow. No, y'all know we having an issue with the mail. U.S. mail is slow. You know what they gonna say? Well, why didn't you call? Because you said court was canceled until further notice.
Okay, so at no point when stuff started functioning again, you didn't bother to check. That's your responsibility. You knew about the court date.
Y'all the ones.
You want me?
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all
I I'm telling you how it works. I don't care what y'all say.
Oh, okay, you getting real aggressive about these
Please
courts.
understand.
Oh, I saw your face when I said something about the state of Georgia.
Okay.
I saw your face.
No, I'm with you on that.
I see you worked in somebody's office the other day. You was somebody's assistant.
She was court clerk.
Court clerk. Bam. I don't give a damn.
Yeah, okay.
If I sent you the letter,
See, right here, your name was crossed off. Right there.
But if you gonna be real about it, if the court say they did it, it's your job to prove they didn't. They don't want. I'm telling you, that's how it works. When he said the state is a racket, I'm telling you that's how it works. Mm-hmm. If they say they did it,
so you do agree that it's a racket.
They gonna put on that little date, and they don't even have to send it out. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna fill that form out and have everybody's name, and they gonna say they sent it. And then, I'm gonna tell you why I knew this, because I worked with people. That this happened to. You know, in the job that I did, I worked with people. We sent a letter out. Well, I never got your letter. Well, did you know you had a court date? Well, I did, but it's no but. It was your job to follow up. It's not their job to contact you and trace you down. Because they sent it, and let's say you really didn't get it. Mm-hmm. So do you not ever think about it anymore? Until they come and arrest you?
Out of sight, out of mind.
If I don't have it, what you want me to do?
Exactly.
Well, guess what they say.
I don't give a damn, man.
That's what they say. I don't give a damn.
Click, click.
And I'm telling you, and I had to advocate to keep this person from going to jail until we worked out a payment plan, and they had to bring something back that day.
Dang.
That day, they didn't bring all of it, but they had judge said you got to bring something back this day. Because was it sent out? Yes.
Wow.
But I never got it. What is your? They said, what is your address? They don't tell you the address. What is your address? Mm-hmm. Then the judge said, what is the address we have on file? We have this address on file. Okay, then you should have gotten it. If it got lost in the mail, if the wind blew it out the mailbox, they don't care nothing about that. And that's how I know. When you said the state is a racket, I'm telling you, that's how I know. I've been in this situation.
You agree that the state is a racket, right?
Yeah, that's what I said.
I just want to make sure you fully say it on camera.
Oh, okay.
Agree that the state is a
let
racket.
the record show. All right.
They have racket tendencies.
Okay. Well,
they might come for me one day. Not cut me no slack.
State ain't up for the mob.
Okay.
All the government period is a mob. So
to wrap things up with, are you going back to work or not?
I never stopped working, so I wasn't one of those people. Hey, look. School closed. We're gonna work around this. This struggle. We finna pass out everything you need.
Well, see, I was somewhat of an essential worker with the transit authority, so we never stopped working. They cut back some of the routes, and then by me being a real estate agent, it was like the market boomed. For some reason, in the pandemic, the market boomed with real estate. So that was something. It was crazy, but I'm not mad. Because, I benefited from that. So
before we wrap up, I would like to say to our live studio audience and all of our guests here, if you are a person that is on unemployment right now and you were in a management position where you were getting paid decent amount of money and you don't want to just go back to any old thing, I completely understand that you are using this opportunity to use that money in order to wait for a job that is going to take care of you and your family. But for those who are not working and getting paid the big bucks, I need you to try to go help out one of these companies and put some money in your pocket. Let's get back to work, America.
All right. Thank you so much. That's going to do it for this show. We hope you enjoyed it. And we want to know what you think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also, please leave your comments so we can know what you're thinking. I'm that girl, Lynn Roberts.
I'm that girl, DC.
And I'm that guy, Trey.
And this is Expressed Opinion. And remember, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and never be afraid to express yours. We out. Smooches.